wish I could read chat right now.
I was looking at that too. I was like, bro, their characters change the more they add. What? I never knew that.
It's contextual.
I was about to say, what is this music? That's just something they added. Okay.
The whole time they've used his ult.
Oh my god, what just happened to him? My guy. What?
We get into gold, no less.
Okay, all right. I'm just gonna stop it.
All right.
My God.
Welcome everybody to the Primecast. For those of you who don't know, this is our show that we go over Paragon The Overprime, and we give you news and updates. And as you can see right there from that little clip that we showed you, that for some people, this game is orgasmic. All right. That's the only thing I can say with that. I don't know how else you can get any other description from that clip. That's exactly what this is.
Hey man, let little homie have fun. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't.
On Twitch and TOS, nothing happened. Nothing went against him. Anybody else does it, you get in trouble. He did great. Keep it up, homie.
100%. This guy just popping off.
Oh my god. What's up, guys? As Bearded was saying, welcome to this week's episode of the Primecast. Essentially, this is just going to be our little takes on Paragon The Overprime, what's been going on, you know, things that they just should change, etc. Just having educated chats here. I will say though, we definitely got comments that we needed to have a little bit more of Overprime fan people on here, so we said let's just get Jelly Knees. Like, it's like
Overprime. Overprime's the worst game. It is trash. Anyone who plays it is trash. Mangoose is trash at it. I mean, just in general, this game is garbage.
I can't with them, bro. Oh man, you know what's actually sad? Ever since I took the hiatus from you know, like just making stop making content creation to spend time with the family and stuff for the holidays, I actually have not tried the winter patch at all. I haven't seen the skins,
skins are amazing.
Anything.
Skins are amazing.
Well, the skins are unreal.
Before we go into that, let's just hurry up and get our introductions out of the way, because there's no reason to do an introduction like while we're in the middle of the conversation. So
I mean, fair. Yeah, true. Yeah. Let's do our introductions. Let's do Jelly, Bearded, and then myself. Tell people a little bit about yourself.
I am Jelly Knees. I am a content creator for all of these games, being Paragon The Overprime, Pred, and Ethereal. I do host FTM with Mangoose every week. And because Bearded thinks it's important, I'm a UG Ethereal developer. So I have a little bit more understanding of the engine and what goes into making these games a little bit here. And yeah, I stream on Twitch and YouTube, and that's it. Anything I missed for you, Bearded, this time, since you want me to make sure
that is good.
That is right things?
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't, try to lie and say that you're like the only person that's good, that has good comments on this show.
Wait, Windu's bad. I forgot to add that one to it. Yeah.
All right. Hi. What's going on, buddy? I am the Beautiful Wolverine, your Michigan Wonder, and excited to bring these shows to you. I don't intend to give you the Predecessor fanboy impression. That's not my intentions ever with these shows, because I do enjoy both games. I just want to give you my opinion and outlook on the game, and hopefully help this game succeed in its forthcoming situations. Windu?
What's up, guys? I'm Windu, also known as Windu the Mace, or as Jelly calls me, the one to look up to. And I can't with him. Anyway, I do mobile content, strategy content, and a little bit of racing content here and there. But yeah, honestly, I really want to get into this whole Winterfest conversation. So first of all these skins, are they still going to be available to be purchased after the fact? After the winter event?
I think so. I don't know if they're going to lock them after the fact. I don't think they've mentioned one way or the other.
Because I remember
it'd be okay with either one.
Yeah, I would understand it. Paragon did that. Like, yeah, like it had to wait.
A lot of games do. Right? I would love to have them be available year round, but at the same time, if they're only available during winter, I think that adds more exclusivity to them. That makes them kind of more valuable in a lot of people's eyes. So either way.
No, fair. Now, so I'm going to have to just go based off of your guys' experience, right? So skin quality wise, if you had to rate it out of like 10 out of 10 being the absolutely amazing fucking quality of skins, what number would you guys give it?
10.
Damn, really?
Yeah, 100%. This sets the bar for all 3D MOBAs going forward.
Damn, those skins are that fucking good? Like animations and everything?
The animations are mostly the same. I don't think there's new animations involved, but the visual effects are on point. The sound design is on point. The overall theming of the skin, like Shinbi's the real standout. I love the Rampage skin. I really do, but Shinbi's definitely the standout and Rampage.
Here.
Yeah. But the biggest thing is Shinbi's wolf is now a reindeer. Right. And now it's got sleigh bells that when she casts an ability, sleigh bells play in the background for her. And like, it's just the little details on these skins are insanely well done. When their basic attack trails, instead of just being a normal attack trail, it also has little snowflakes that come off of it and go into the distance. Right. And like I said, the little details are incredible. And these skins are setting the bar. These skins are putting the bar higher than Paragon was already really setting them for skins of a similar tier.
Yeah.
In this area, and they're just fantastic.
No, I 100% agree. And not only that's her one wolf that, the direct attack one that she has is a reindeer, but even the ones that run around her, they're reindeers, but they also have a sleigh that they're pulling that has a president inside of them. Like that's like everything on there. Like, and then when you got Rampage doesn't throw a rock. He throws a huge snowball now, and it sounds like a snowball when it has impact. Like everything to it is just it's so much better. Like it is insane. Going from Fault and not really seeing any of the skins that they implement have their own little, what was it, tier 4 style skins that we're talking about.
I was about to say some did, but very rarely. Yeah.
And it wasn't anything big and like, oh my gosh, right? Nothing like that. Like this just goes way above it, right? And it's great to see that. It definitely puts a bar there, and I'm excited to see what the other games like this can pull out and do something like that. I mean, like, I think it puts a bar to a situation, and it's a game that's even farther out. And Jelly talked about it with Undying Games, with Ethereal. I would love to see. Now Ethereal has something like, hey, we got to do something like this. This is what we got to put out here, guys. Like, it's a different graphics wise look and feel to it, game, but it's still something I want to see skins that do something like that. So they did a great job. Amazing job to it.
100%.
What are they doing price wise? Like, is it just buying $21. A bundle? $21 for a bundle?
Nope, for one skin. For the legendary tier 4, whatever it's going to be called. Rampage or the legendary tier 4 of Shinbi, they're $21 each.
Oh, got you. Because not every skin got that treatment. Those are there's just like traditional Christmas
new IP skins. They also released 3 of the Paragon assets for Gadget, Feng Mao, and Kalari, being the Peppermint Kalari, the Ugly Sweater Gadget, and whatever the hell that Feng Mao skin is. The red and green one.
The red and green with the hat on, and hey, it works.
They re-released those, but you can buy those with in-game currency, so the price on those is more variable.
Interesting. So is it worth the $21?
I bought the Rampage skin day one. I'm not even a Rampage player, and every day I look at that Shinbi skin, go like, I could buy it. Like I might just buy it. I don't even play Shinbi, and I just sit there every day and just sit there and think about and almost everybody I know. Mangoose bought the Shinbi skin outright. That I expect of him. The Viking Jedi, who we talk with on FTM, bought the Shinbi skin. He's not even a Shinbi player. I know so many people that bought these skins, even though they don't play either of those heroes because of how good they are. So I would say the price is at a point where people feel, even for a character they don't play, they're still willing to pay that money. I think that's a good sign for them, that the skin is valued at a point where it seems worth it.
Jelly, speaking of prices of skins, let me ask your opinion on this. I brought it up a couple episodes ago, or maybe on even a different show or whatever, but I brought it up. I'm a person that's like, I'm very frugal with my money, and I'm not really out here to buy skins, right? But I play the games and I enjoy the games, and I see these great skins, right? The most I spend money on is Fortnite for my son, and that's what sucks. Like, I hate saying that, but like, I don't buy my own skins, right? Because I got to save money so I could buy skins for my son. But anyways, and I'm trying to teach him how to, like, hey, this is cosmetic. It's not helping you win the game. It's not that big a deal. I'm trying to teach him that stuff, but he's still
no. Teach him skins get wins, and
skins win games.
Well, yeah, but I still buy him the battle pass. He gets those skins, right? So he can still, he gets. I'm not saying.
So he's double dipping. Okay.
What I heard,
this kid's smart.
Might be letting his son lose because he refuses to buy him skins. So I mean that's.
I did not say refuse. I did not. I said it's the only way I spend money is on him. But no, I think for the true gamers, I think there needs to be, for these skins, the only way to get them is to real currency, right? I think there needs to be a way for these skins as well. And I'm telling, put a high number on there. I mean, a high number on there, but a grindable number that if I wanted to grind the game and that's what I wanted to spend all my in-game currency on, then that's fine. I could get 40 other characters with it, but I want this skin, that I put a high number on there and let me grind that out. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm never going to argue. I'm never going to say outright that you shouldn't have things for free, because I think the more things you can give players for free, what grind or not, is valuable. I personally subscribe to the idea that there's two ways that you are rewarding developers. You are rewarding them with your money, and you're rewarding them with your time. If I'm willing to put the time in, then that should offset the willingness to pay with monay.
Right.
And if I'm willing to pay with money, there's an amount that I should offset the time investment. Specifically for, I don't think pay to win not being what I'm saying here, but for skins. If you made a skin a super hard grind to get that Snow John Rampage skin, fine. But I can skip that grind by paying money. That's fine with me. I'm not benefiting in game by buying this skin.
Right.
I'm just saving myself the time and energy of putting in the hours to get the money for it. Yep. I think that is valuable. That being said, it's hard to argue against that in such a way of really high quality skins being earnable that way. And I would say that the Snow John Rampage skin and the, I don't know what it's called, Shinbi skin, that they just released are at that level where I would say not being able to earn those for free, there's an understanding I can get to from that. And I think legendary skins in general maybe could fall into that category, but everything below legendary, so you can still get really cool skins that you earn for free. Undertow Gideon is just an easy example that I know people have, right? That Undertow Gideon is a legendary skin in Paragon, but it's now the one just below legendary in Overprime. And so from that down, I could see all of those being earnable for free and really not offsetting the devs much of the money, or you can buy them, right? You pick one, and then every legendary, every of the highest tier of skin has to be paid for. I think that's to me a great middle ground where you still get access to a lot of really good skins, but you also still have a way that you can monetize your game. That is, if you want this, you do have to pay for it.
Yeah, I would side with exclusivity. Like, the way I would look at it is, if you want to play a PlayStation exclusive day one, it has to be on a PlayStation. But maybe a year later, you'll be able to play it on PC. A year or two later, right? It's like these Christmas skins, like Shinbi and Rampage, you guys are talking about. I think it should be only paid for the exclusivity right now, and then maybe next Winterfest next year have those unlockable through a grind, because they're no longer the newest thing. They should by then have at least one or two other cool skins to throw at us. You know what I mean? I think they should keep it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of things you can do to make it more accessible that are good moves for the community that can still reward the developers in the same way. It's a balancing act, and it always will be. It's if I get 100 people to buy my expensive skin, does that offset that if I lowered the price, I had 1,000 people buy it instead? Right? You have to find that balance of skin price to amount of purchasers where you're actually getting the most benefit possible while still rewarding your community. I think the crazy example of this, the extremes, are Valorant skins. Valorant gun skins can get upwards of hundreds of dollars in order to unlock the full version of the skin for your gun. Right. And that's wild, but people pay for it. And so that offsets the lower number of purchasers because the people that are purchasing it are spending so much more. And so you have to find, it's a seesaw of the balancing. You have to decide where that level is in terms of purchasers to cost.
And I think that's where you would have to find that. I'm using that same seesaw analogy. I think you'd have to find that with, if you went the route that I'm asking for with giving me the ability to grind for those skins, I think you're still getting the same benefit that Windu wants of the people. Hey, these are people like, you had to be there type situations. I was there. I grinded. I played this nonstop so I could unlock this skin, but it needs to be the devs need to put that in-game currency a price for it so high to where everybody who bought it right now there is no in-game currency for you to get it, right? You can't grind it and grind out for it and grab it, right? So right now everybody who bought it is everybody who bought it. They need to find that currency that's going to keep everybody who bought it, they're still going to buy it. Right. But you still give us those people that like, I can't right now, especially Christmas time. I can't afford to put $21 out right now. Like, I can't do it. But you give me the ability to grind for it. I'm playing your game. I'm going to grind your game. I'm going to play it. And how many of those people that are going to grind for it are streamers? Yep. How many people are going to stream it and make content? How many people that grind for are content creators just to put YouTube videos up for it? That's just like, not only are you getting a return, you're not getting money for it, but you're getting a return on investment because people that are streaming and advertising your game and they're just grinding out for that skin. I just think there's still a benefit for it. I get, yes, next year I could have that same skin bringing it out, but I just think that give me the ability to get it now too. If I grind for it, just give me what it might be. Let me have that a chance.
I think Fault is a prime example for that. Prior to the loot box change, Fault had all the epic assets available with in-game currency, and they were a grind to unlock the higher tier skins, right? And that was something that players and even I dealt with. That I really want that skin, so I'm going to grind up and I'm going to get that skin. I'm going to put hours into the game. Like I said, I personally believe that hours into the game offsets money spent. Those are your two levers that you should be wielding for monetization. And so I think Fault did a great job with that initially in that concept of, yes, it was a grind or you could pay for it. And I've had, for those that don't know, Armadillon, who was on the Fault team, is now on the Ethereal team. We've had conversations of what that actually looked like internally for them in terms of what the actual benefit and how many people were buying those skins or spending the time to grind up and get them for free, right? And it's very interesting. I don't want to go into detail because I don't want Arma to. I don't want to be releasing information like that. But the things that he was talking about with that are very interesting, and I think there's definitely more potential to be explored there that these games are not being Paragon the Overprime and even Predecessor. From what we've heard, they're going to do with their monetization.
How would you guys feel if Paragon the Overprime did some sort of, like a little contest similar to how Fault did back in the day with if you grind during this 1 week and you reach a certain amount of XP with this character, you get this skin, but make it something challenging, right? And be like, hey, you get this skin. That is your chance to get it for free. That 1 week of grinding. After that 1 week, you got to buy it. That way you can make like a whole event out of it, and people are literally just constantly streamers and YouTubers like, yo, trying to get the grind already at this level XP, or be like, hey, so you got to get, I don't know, this much damage with her individually to be able to get that skin. And maybe even if it only like 200 people end up getting it, but they are now the exclusive ones. Put up a little list on their website with like the list of the names of the people that made it.
I think that idea in a vacuum is a good idea. The problem you face after the fact is that now the people that have to pay for it say, well, I didn't play the game then. Well, it was Christmas time. I couldn't get online. It was whatever, right? And then you're facing the same complaint differently because it was free for a limited time instead of just something you can earn over any amount of time, right? It's the battle pass system in games is a prime example of this. Is battle passes expire. Halo Infinite notwithstanding, battle passes expire. So the incentive is if you're going to buy the battle pass, you need to play the game a lot really fast because you need to, before this battle pass expires, you need to get all of your levels done. And that battle pass then goes away forever afterwards. So if you weren't there, you weren't playing the game enough, you didn't whatever, that content is now exclusive to the people that did.
But they do give you 3 months to do it.
But they do give you 3 months to do it. Whereas if you do a much shorter limited area, it's going to be way more difficult. People already don't complete battle passes. So now you're saying do a thing over the course of a week or even 1 month, and it's the same issue just exacerbated because of the shortened time frame.
Another thing you're going to have an issue with that situation when like you said, you damage with this person or whatever, is then you're going to have people argue it's going to be the same thing as introducing a new hero, right? You're just going to have dodge queues because I want this skin, so I need to be Shinbi. So if I can't be Shinbi, I'm just going to dodge because I only have so much time to play. So let me dodge this so I can grab Shinbi the next round. And then you're going to introduce that issue as well.
Won't that happen even if they just buy this skin? They're like, I want to use my Shinbi skin. I want to play Shinbi.
A non-solvable issue, but it's exacerbated by making requirements.
Yeah, you're making it. You're magnifying the issue by putting that in there.
For instance, Predecessor is doing their event right now where you get the Candy King Kalari skin if you win a game during the event period.
Right.
If you said that you can only get the Candy King Kalari skin if you play Kalari,
right?
Then
it would be non-stop Kalari queue.
Kalari because I need to get that skin before the event runs out.
Now,
so every time you add another layer of microscope or shrinking down the potential, it just gets more and more toxic, more and more limited, more and more problematic.
Now, if it was overall, like I don't have to do it with Shinbi. Let's say I have to do X amount of damage within this time frame, a week, a month, or whatever it may be. I have to do this much damage, and I can have the skin. Then fine. That's you're not going to have. You can be whoever you want to be. All right, let me go this right. You can do that, and I would be okay with that as long as I have the option. I'm not saying I'm going to do enough damage. I'm not saying that I'm going to have the time to do that event, or I might be out of town during that event. But I had that ability, right? It just sucks that, man, I was working out of town that week. I wasn't able to make it, right? Or it was Christmas that week. I wasn't able to do it, whatever. But I still had the ability. Like right now, with where it sits, I don't have the ability to get this skin. One, it's during Christmas, and two, it's only in-game currency, or it's only paid currency, right? That's it. That's all I have. Like that, the only options I get from that, and I don't have that ability to do that. So I didn't have an option. Is the way it looks like to me, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I can totally relate.
For knowing OP, he says, knowing OP devs from their culture, I see less earn incentive and more cash incentive skins. I mean, cash incentive is king, right? Yeah, it's just you guarantee you're going to get money by doing that because if people want the skin, they have to spend money. Like it's that seesaw I was talking about. But I've also seen way more earn incentive from them that I would ever have expected. In that,
with all their events they're doing, hey, post this video and have a chance to get whatever $10 in-game currency or whatever, all that stuff.
All of that, but even the fact that you can buy skins in game with just in-game currency. I never expected the Korean dev studio of a mobile game company
to have anything to be
ever add that level of earn incentive, right? And every time I see it, I'm like, dang, like the Candy King Kalari. Right, their new Christmas skin that they just released, even though it was an epic asset, right? I bought that outright with my in-game currency, and that was fantastic. I never expected that from them going into this. So I think they're already ahead of the curve of where they could have been. And their early monetization shows that a little bit. But
and that's a fair point, because we've seen them we saw how in the like super early test they showed that they were planning on adding loot boxes and stuff, right? Yep. Them reverting from that into any system where you can earn something.
No, we won't do that.
But no, you bring up a great point. The fact that they reverted from that and added more earn stuff in there is like, well, I didn't even think you were going to be able to earn anything. I thought it was literally just, hey, loot box that shit up and hope you get lucky. But yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from. It definitely is a bright side to it. I wonder if that's going to be expanded on, if they're going to keep the exact same thing, like, hey, like tier 1, tier 2 only sort of vibe. But
if their cadence of events continues the way it has been, they're starting to nurture a really good community around those events, right? That every time one event ends, they're announcing a new event for something else, right? And I think that's super cool. Whether it be make a video, get $10 or potentially $10 or whatever it's going to be, right? They keep that wheel churning of more events, giving things out, giving you currency, giving you this, giving you that. And I think that's a really good cadence that they're building with those events.
Yeah, I mean, we played and haven't had it here for a loop for a while. The breathtaking moment highlight, that's just a great job by them, to be real. Like showing love to the community. There's a lot of content creators that are on these videos that are getting, shown some love and everything. That's
granted, one of them came out before early access did. It was after the final beta test. But the fact that they've done 4 of these in less than a month of being released, I think is also huge.
Yeah. True. It's almost like they're doing weekly or like a week and a half or something like that. And it is something so small. You just get people to send their clips, pick the best ones, put them together. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to put 5 or 6 clips together and just
you don't have
post
to be
it.
Good either, because Windu was in the first one, so it's perfect.
I hate them, bro. Get me the fuck out. Jelly hasn't made it to any. Sad face.
Chicken, congrats. Kid Chicken says they won a few of those events, so that's awesome.
Hey, that's what's up.
Mangoose was just talking about. Oh, but that is Mangoose. Kid Chicken. Screw you, Mangoose. Get out of here.
Is that Mangoose?
Is that Mangoose?
Yeah, that's Mangoose.
Oh. Why in the world where did that account come from?
Yeah, where the fuck?
I don't know what happened to his old Twitch account, but he made Kid Chicken in its replacement.
Oh, so poor guy. Mangoose, did you stop writing your passwords on that little notebook again? Poor guy.
Can't find your old Rolodex, can you, Mangoose?
All right, it's turned into a roast session. Back to it.
Great idea of what they're doing. Honestly, I'm glad they made the change. I'm by no means saying they shouldn't have, but I think the monetization fears when they first released early access wouldn't have been so bad if we knew a lot of these events and the amount of currency they're giving out and stuff like that were known about at the time.
Okay, that's a fair point. Like if they would have been a little bit more like forthcoming about what they plan to do in the next month, maybe they wouldn't have gotten as much backlash for prices and stuff when it's like, hey man, y'all are gonna have like 4 different fucking events in the next 3 weeks to earn shit. I mean, okay.
And again, I'm by no means saying they shouldn't have made the changes they did, because they were absolutely warranted. But I think they could have offset that with the information that we have now looking back of how much they were doing, like giving the amount of currency they've given out over the last month has been really great. Because then I've only bought a handful of the heroes that they haven't already given me for free. I think I have 2 or 3 of them. I spent the rest on skins, right? Because they keep giving me more currency. And I'm like, you know what? I'm happy with my character set right now. I'm just going to buy skins for these guys, or I'm just going to buy whatever, right? Like, and I think that it feels so good to have that a little bit as well. And if we had known that, I wish they were more transparent at the beginning than they were than from what we know now was coming.
How do you guys feel about the map of this Winterfest? Like, does it stand to the test of other like Winterfest we've seen in the past?
I love the idea of the map. Just changing it up for Winterfest, fine, no big deal. It was a performance hit that you can't turn off. I think that's a huge negative, and it's in competitive, and that's a huge negative. You can't see Wraith on it from a distance. You can't see Aurora on it from a distance. You can't see Muriel on it from a distance. And in a competitive setting, that's a problem. Let me turn it off.
It makes sense for Aurora, though. She should get home field advantage.
I mean,
yeah, but he's right. Like it should be any cosmetic changes to the world casual, leave, like if it's automatically on in casual, sure, so be it, whatever.
Yeah.
But on competitive, it should be like, hey man, just flat field, no advantages, play the game as it should be.
This should be a neutral environment for the game, and right now it's not, and it drives me nuts.
I mean,
well, I think the issue you have there though is, like, let's say you only had it for the casual, the quick batch, right? The quick play matches that you play. If it was only on that, nobody would be playing it because everybody's playing ranked as it is.
I played 8 games of Quick Battle today.
8 games of Quick Battle. Nice.
And
how many of those were Kalari?
I prefer to play ranked, and I've been playing Quick Battle. Partly because I've had more people on my team than I can take into ranked.
Yeah.
But that's really the incentive, right? It was like, great, I can still see the map because I'm playing Quick Battle with my friends. But then when I go into competitive, I still have the normal map and the neutral environment to play as well.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really got a chance to go in there. It really looks from the outside looking in like it's basically just a snow filter everywhere. Like everything just basically got covered in snow, right? Are there any other changes?
I can tell you the Unreal Engine thing. They changed the landscape, the material on the landscape, to just have snowy features on the top of it, and it'll be easy to turn off. So when they go to change it back, they literally will just uncheck a couple boxes, and all of that'll be gone. And they added a couple assets here and there of a more frozen looking assets, like the sphere on the Dawn side,
like the frozen sphere or whatever
on the outside of it. But the changes are relatively simple to have put on there. But I think they're still a really cool idea. I think more specifically, right? Me griping about having it in ranked is one thing. When you have low end hardware users like Desmeric, who's is in my Discord and talks to us on FTM a lot. We've played a couple of games with him. The game became below 60 FPS for him with the snow map update.
That's rough.
And if that's due to the map and not due to optimization changes on the background, if that's due to the map, he now is having a worse gameplay experience because you decided to change the map and don't have an option to turn it off.
Right.
And that to me is a negative, a huge negative of the new map.
And that was something SMS did with their Halloween event. They had their Shadow Fest. You could turn that Halloween event map off if you wanted it. You want to go normal map, hit it. There's a little toggle switch, bam, regular map.
Yep. So, and League of Legends does that whenever they change their map or their minions or anything like that. They have a toggle off. Again, it's only in non-ranked queues, and then even in that, you have a toggle off option. There's plenty of things you can do and examples to pull from that show that that's not the most ideal way to be doing this.
Mangoose also says that they made sound effects changes in the jungle to be more wintery as well.
Okay.
I talked about this last week a little bit, Mangoose too, and I'll get your guys' opinion on it. Like, so one thing Mangoose said about the winter map and how it should be in competitive because the fact of one, not only because the heroes you can't see, but like chat being white, right? So you're seeing white chat letters on white snow. It's hard to read that, right? And certain things on the HUD that you can't see or whatever. I just think that next time they introduce this, even if it's in only in casual, let's say it's not in ranked, they learned from that mistake. They would put it in ranked, but put it in casual matches, even though that should be something they change. Like, hey, whenever this map is on, it's going to be black letters, and the HUD, any HUD white letters are going to be black as well, or whatever. Just something that change. That should be things that change as well, just so you can still see them and they'll pop out on the map as well.
Yeah, I think this iteration of this time around, the map feels like it was a person's idea a couple months ago, and it was fairly rushed into implementation because a lot of those things aren't thought about. Right. Because the chat hasn't been noticed. Right. So, and I realized you're not going to put a map like this into internal testing for very long. Right. It's very cosmetic. So theoretically, the changes aren't.
And it's not going to be permanent either.
Yeah. But at the same time, those little things are things they have to consider going forward and need to find a way to circumvent as well.
You know what would be cool? What if they let you keep the map? Like if you participated now and they had that toggle feature, I could be in the middle of April and turn on the winter map because I like it.
I think that would be cool, but it's going to pad the game size very quickly every time they add a new map to variation.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it's any
and
material.
We're all gonna have the 2
different.
terabyte exterior hard drives just to hold on to the game.
Any material that's different than the normal map would have to be doubled.
Okay.
So, like I was talking about the landscape changes, adding snow to it. They now have to have one landscape with and one landscape without. And granted, if during the event when you have the toggle on and off, that's one thing. But if you add 10 variations of the map now going forward, now you have 10 variations of that landscape now always having to be stored at any time to be toggled on and off accordingly. But I think it's a great idea. I also would love the ability to toggle multiples on at once, so I can have the Shadow, Winter, Valentine's, Summerfest map on at the same time. I hate it, bro. And just
he said, "I want the winter map with hearts everywhere." Where the fuck is it? Now what?
Snow everywhere.
Now what if they did it after the event? If they're like, "Hey, if you really want to play this winter map, it can be a Steam purchase, for example, where it would be additional DLC that you download at your own course, at your own, like ordeal. Like you want the file size, you download it separately. It's not automatically included for everybody."
I think that'd be fine. I don't know they need to, though. It kind of ruins part of the thing of map changes is you want them to be temporary because then it's new and exciting every time it comes back. Right? It's that exclusivity.
I could see it. Now, bro, I'm just kind of bummed that I haven't really been able to play it. Now, you say that there's been some, at least for some people have had a little bit of a performance hitch and stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, is it just on the lower end from what you guys have seen? Or like even yourselves on like moderately decent PCs? Like, can you notice a little bit of difference on the FPS or?
I haven't noticed any difference. It's possible that that I lost a handful of FPS. But at this point, I'm playing the game at anywhere between 150 and 200. And so the 10 frame loss is going to mean next to nothing to me comparatively to a 10 frame loss at 60 FPS. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So that it could be. I haven't paid enough close attention to it and I haven't felt a difference just in playing it.
Yeah, I haven't felt any lag issues or anything like that. I remember like with SMS, right, when you had Winterfest or you had the Shadowfest ones, that you would like you could feel it, and that's one thing that was good about the Shadowfest event. You could shut it off. You're like, hey, I'm no longer lagging or whatever. So you could, it was good. But I'm not feeling any of that difference. But I also, with both these games, I haven't even like really went through and tried to adjust my settings to get my max FPS and see whatever. I've literally just been playing at max, like epic settings and everything, and just playing it. I might not be getting the best FPS or whatever, but I'm not getting any, like I said, I'm not like lagging or anything like that. So I just play at that and enjoy the beautiful views that both these games have.
Now, we know anything about like what's coming next out of them? Like, I know they have a roadmap. I haven't really looked at it recently, but like,
they don't have an official roadmap. That they have their Trello, but their Trello seems to be a bit behind comparatively. Their Trello's more, I think, for showing what they're working on internally, not necessarily when it's going to come to the game.
Got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we know a new hero is coming. I said this to Mangus earlier, and he gave me shit for it, but they released in December, and we have not gotten a new hero in December. We had Xena in the final beta test, but that was in November. This is December. They said a hero a month, where I'm holding them to that. We have 1 week left of December to get a new hero. We know in their work in progress tab on their Discord, they've been working on Drongo. I don't know if he's the next one. That could just be the one after or anything like that. But
they teased Adele a while ago, right? Mm-hmm. Some people are saying that little pop star that they had was going to be another hero too. I don't know if it's going to be though.
Yeah.
Is it?
Now, just because I'm a very technical person and I literally get people with little loopholes just to fuck with them, they released December 8th. So technically January 8th would be their month, so like they could release,
I will give them that. If they release before January 8th, fine.
Yeah. So I mean, that's only me being like just being that technical. Hey, we said a month. We didn't say like literally a literal month.
We didn't say calendar month. We said month.
Calendar month. We said month. So yeah.
When did Xena get introduced?
November in the final beta test. Mangoose is wrong.
So November what? Like, do we know?
So what's Mangoose saying?
In the final beta test, Mangoose says that Xena counts as the first hero.
Oh.
And I told him earlier, if you're using that logic, they released 8 heroes in the final beta test. So now they have 8 months that they don't have to do anything because they've added 8 heroes. He's just
No, I think even if they added during the beta test, like even if we give them benefit of the doubt, it's like, hey, so that you're good for a month. Like, we're chilling, bro. No sweat. Yeah, I still would expect at least a trailer teaser within them. You know what I mean? Okay. Even if they get delayed a little bit, like shit happened, right? But give me a teaser. At least confirm which fucking hero it's gonna be, so I can talk about it at least for a week.
November 16th.
November 16th?
Correct.
So it's already been more than a month since she got added.
Yes, but granted, they had downtime between the final beta test and early access. But November 16th is when she was added to the game. She was added to the game in November. We are now in December. That is not a hero a month. And she does not count as the first hero because she was in the final beta test.
I mean, even if she counted, she counts as a hero for the middle of November, technically, right?
And so again, if you're going to give him a month, Mangoose is wrong.
Mangoose is wrong. Fuck that kid chicken.
I'm of the person that even if Mangoose, let's say Mangoose is right, then December 16th, we should have had another hero.
If she did count as the first hero.
They're the ones that shut down for that time frame. That's their decision. They're the ones that released her on November 16th. Like that way, they're the ones that said that we get a hero once a month. Like we should be already having the next hero.
If you're setting expectations, you need to hold to them.
Yes.
Or at least just be a little more clear about them.
A month, and it has been over a month since the last hero came out, and your game has almost been out for a month. Even if I was being generous and trying to find the middle ground between the two, if you do not have a hero by January 8th, you are not fulfilling the thing you said you were doing.
Right. No, I agree. I 100% agree with that. And like what Windu is saying, like we now between this today on this show and January 8th, we should be seeing something soon of a hero teaser. Like, here we go. Here's a hero. Is this her kit? Is this that? Whatever, like something, whatever. And it doesn't have to be her. It could be a guy, whatever. Is this their kit? And, kind of give us something to kind of look forward to. Like, okay, this is the hero we're getting next, right? We did get a work in progress a little while back of Drongo, and being Dragos. Have you guys seen that work in progress?
The weapons and stuff. Yeah.
It threw me off at first, and I was actually in we were in Discord call just talking back and forth with Menace and Stunt, and I asked them a question. I'm like, well, what is this? Well, what is that? Because it didn't scream Drongo to me until I literally opened it up and looked at it. But when I looked at it again, I'm like, okay, that's it. But hey, what's the extra?
It's because the little silencer throws it off. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's his normal gun, and then he's got his rocket launcher for his ultimate. He's got his grenade, his boomerang.
Yep.
And then the little pouch that he has on the side or whatever.
It looks like a backpack. I'm like, what is that backpack thing?
Yep.
He always has a little satchel that he pulls the grenades out of or whatever.
But that is his rad rounds.
Oh, that makes sense because it's right at the end of the gun, and it opens.
And it makes into his rad rounds. It turns out that's how he shoots his rad rounds.
Looking at it, there is an open version attached to the gun and the closed version not attached to the gun.
Yeah, and that's what threw me off. I was thinking there's 2 different guns. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, what are we talking about? So it definitely threw me off at first, but after sitting there talking about it and looking at it, I'm like, okay, I can see it.
See, I almost thought Zinx. And switching between the stances was switching between the adapters. I was like, okay, this might be Zinx, but then with boomerang and stuff, but then I was like, grenade, rocket launcher. I was like, all right, that's Drongo.
Right.
And I think Drongo is going to be a cool addition to the game regardless. And I'm excited to see what they do with Drongo when he comes. But again, we don't know if that's internal working on this or the next character working on this.
Right. True. Yeah, that could just be,
I mean, Grim is on the poster and is not in the game. So
on what poster?
That is true.
On their main poster on Steam.
As soon as you click screen, when you open the game up, it says Netmarble and it screams in your ears and it makes you deaf, and then you can't see anything. So it's a big white screen comes up in your face. It says click screen. That screen, their little Paragon symbol they have, it has a bunch of characters on it, and Grim is one of the characters on there.
I guess it's not on their Steam banner.
No.
Anymore. But yeah,
it's their main logo they came up with. When they announced that they were becoming Paragon, it was that main logo.
Yep. Yeah, and Grim is on there and is not currently present.
When did they make that announcement? They were becoming Paragon. What day was that?
Interesting. I wonder why
November 8th, I think.
So why do you guys think they're doing that? Like, okay, so apparently they teased Grim. I missed that one. But then they tease Adele a while. Like, I'm still shocked that they tease Adele way the fuck back then and then gave us Xena. Like, you get me?
Catastrophic happened with Adele.
You think so? You think it's like worst case scenario is like, hey, we're going to have to skip this one. Go to the next one.
I'm not going to give too many details because I'm not sure how many details I'm allowed to give. But a reference for it. Ethereal had a character named Owen. And it was a guy with 2 chakrams on either side, 3 blades off of each chakram. That character will no longer be in the game because there was a rights dispute with that character. And because of that, he had to be removed. That was
which can
years
happen
ago, right? This is very old news in comparison, right? But if Adele had anything like that, there was an artist working on the team that agreed to let them use their art for Adele. If there was a whatever, right? Some kind of rights dispute, some kind of art dispute, some kind of anything, Adele had to be shelved indefinitely. And
yeah,
to me, with
companies will send out a cease and desist so fucking quick.
For how much they were pushing Adele to suddenly not have Adele and release Xena instead, to me says that something big happened and she's either shelved permanently or shelved indefinitely while they figure out whatever's going on with her.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, shit like that could happen all the fucking time.
Yeah, absolutely.
The moment a cease and desist letter gets sent, it's like, well, shit. All right, back to the drawing board.
Indie dev studios where resources are limited, you're making contracts and agreements with people to use their assets or use their art or use their whatever, right? With that, and
one breach of contract, everything's out the window.
The Adele pushes were just after the acquisition of Soul Eve to Netmarble.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than likely, or it's more than possible that that's what happened with Adele.
So
Mangoose said in the chat, I think something went wrong with Taunt. Taunt is already in the game on Aurora's right click, her little ice clone. Taunts enemy minions to attack it instead of her. So Taunt is fully in the game and working. Since I've been playing Aurora, I've figured that out. So it's not a Taunt issue.
I know this is a Paragon The Overprime podcast here, but I need to ask now. Owen, if I remember correctly, is he not the one that was a flying character, had a pistol as well, or no?
Nope, different character.
No. Who? No, that's Zero?
That's Zero. Zero still
okay.
exists.
Okay. Gotcha. I was like,
still alive somewhere.
I literally just saw this guy. And I was like, wait, what did it mean? He was taken out forever ago. Okay, gotcha. All right.
But yeah, I mean, so let's just say that happens, right? Or they ran into some issue, they're dealing with it. But the reason I bring it up is because now technically the moment me now finding out that they kind of did the same with Grim, like they brought Grim up but haven't included him into the game, to me that's now a pattern. That's 2 heroes that have been shown but not implemented, and now they showed us a 3rd hero with Drongo. So now there's 3 heroes that are on the horizon but not implemented, right? So I wonder,
to be fair, Drongo
if it's deliberate,
work in progress. So it's knowing
not officialties. Yeah.
So knowing something's in development is slightly different than putting them on the poster.
Fair. Adele and what's his name? Grim are on different status on that.
Yes.
So
yeah, and Adele was marketing
100%,
pushed.
Mangoose, 100%.
Adele being marketing pushed, like Grim is just
like they had already created their own IP and everything. Like it was big news. It's like, yo, and we already got our own hero lined up, bro. Check out our game out.
Yeah.
I mean, but you bring up a logical point. It could have been some external source preventing them. Who knows?
Yeah, Mangoose says that they've shown Iggy, they've shown Crunch, and they've shown Wukong as well.
In work in progress says, yeah.
In work in progress? Okay, that's different. So work in progress. All right. I don't want to be sexy. yes.
They've shown skins for Crunch. They've shown skins for Wukong. They've shown Iggy directly like in the model for Iggy, as well as a whole slew of skins that are either MIA since one of the previous tests or just haven't been implemented at all yet.
Are we there I thought Iggy was in a video, like they were showing like a gameplay video. I thought I saw Iggy in that. I thought I heard somebody say about Iggy being in a gameplay video.
I think so, but it's possible. I mean, they
showed so Crunch emoting on the map.
So are we to take the work in progress section then is like, hey, like they're working on it, but don't expect it anytime soon? Like, because to me, if it's shown in work in progress, or if it's shown in a trailer, if it's shown on a picture on social media, for me, they're showing it. They don't have to be showing it, you know?
Right.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so for me, that's all the same list.
The work in progress is the, hey, we know you want something, so here's just something we can give you, you know, just to show you, hey, well, just to kind of let you give you something to nibble on, you know, and then, but the, you know, that's not an official, like, hey, this is the next hero or this is the next item or whatever. This is work in progress. So it's literally just showing you something just to kind of feed you. And then when you see things, you know, like literally if it's in the next video or whatever, there was a hero when I was hoping Menace was going to make it here this week, because I want to talk to him about it. He was talking about there's another third-party website that you can go to and you can do things, and there's a hero that doesn't exist and her abilities that are there.
Like
already
hold on, I got that website.
Is that the builder website?
I got that website. Hold on,
I think it's the builder website. So like they have like there's like everything is there. Like is that a
right here? It's paragoncodex.com. So they have all the information for all the heroes, but when you go into the heroes tab, the first one, because of alphabetical order, is Adele, and you can click on her, and it says, and actually, let me put this on the stream so everybody can kind of read with me here. So it actually says, a high-minded noble daughter with a small body that bellies her superhuman strength. Standing strong on the front line, she quickly switches tactics by using her sword and shield, depending on the situation, to fight more efficiently. She is infamous for being a merciless predator who cuts down enemies on the battlefield with a smile. She now uses her skills to her heart's content as a Ventus mercenary alongside Aurora. And then, so her stats are all set to 0, but you can highlight each individual ability and it tells you what it does. Her Q, it extends a whip towards whip sword towards a selected target, stabbing them for 87 damage plus 60 plus 40% of physical damage belt, then charges again to deal 87 plus 60 plus 40% bonus physical damage. So it's like a whip and you charge towards them, very yin sounding. You get what I'm saying from that description there? And then we have her E called that one was called Let Me Hold You. Her E is called Your Beautiful Scent. Swings a sword wide to deal 0 plus 0 plus 50% physical damage to the enemy twice, and then strikes the sword down to deal extra true damage. I'm just going to say extra instead of the values. We don't know if these are real. Her ultimate, Where You Belong, combines a sword and a shield, puts them on the ground to summon a poisonous pit that slows enemies within range by 30% for 10 seconds and deals true damage equal to a 6% of max health per second. So basically, she's got an AoE slow that deals damage over time based off of your max. Then we got her left click, of course, is just swinging a whip sword is what it's called. And then it's supposed to her right click expands a shield to increase the hero's physical defense, physical and magical defense by 20%. Also reflects 15% of received damage while the effects last. Movement speed is decreased by 30%. Only basic attack is available while this effect is on. Is it me or does this Adele sound like they just took Yin and made her baby with Terra?
And old Steel from Paragon, where you could hold the shield up and block damage.
Right? Like they just kind of.
And I mean,
you could do that with Terra too, though.
Hell,
you could block damage with Terra with the shield.
Yeah, you could block damage. You have the whip sword, but then also you can use it to get yourself closer to the enemy. You can
Terra's E was a spin with the axe and then it's chopped down.
That's true. That's so just like what that E is. Very true. And then the ultimate of the whole, just like an AoE slow and damage over time. That's new. Yeah. But I dig it.
So what this site tells me is that they're pulling from the API of Paragon the Overprime, the hero API.
That's what it looks like, because they have all the other characters here, but then on this list,
Boris, Greystone, Grim,
yep,
and someone called Ractor, which may be Richter and it's just misspelled. But if that's the case, these are heroes that are in the pipeline that just haven't been announced yet, and that's why their information can be seen in some cases to varying degrees. I've opened each one up and I started looking at it, and it's interesting to see what is present and what isn't present. So I'd guess that they're pulling from the hero API there, which makes me
just like a little loophole.
Is way closer to being released than I would have thought.
Well, if her profile picture is in the API,
profile picture and full ability icons plus ability descriptions plus numbers is a huge indication that that hero is at bare minimum in testing. For instance, one of the ways that I always found out which Fault character was coming next is their hero API was updated before it was ever displayed or announced to the community. So I could go in and see which heroes belong to the hero API and see which ones were coming based on the level of completeness of each one. And so, or every time they started teasing a hero, I could go into the API and just go through a list and be like, oh, it's this one. This fits the teasers. Okay, it's Grux, right? And go from there. So, because the API gets updated before the release would ever happen, you just have to, as the dev studio, make sure you're watching the time of updates to try and keep that as consistent as possible to be at the same time. Like I said, having everything is very interesting. She's got lore. She doesn't have stats, which theoretically could be the last thing that they put into the API, because it's going to be the thing that's most in flux prior to a release. She has all of her ability icons that are definitely unique to her because they match the shield that we've seen of hers. The descriptions plus numbers as a hefty indicator that she's much closer than we thought, or got to this point and then was delayed indefinitely and just never removed from the API.
Oh, I mean, I didn't even consider that part. We talked about it earlier. It's very possible that she was near complete and had to be paused. Who knows? But no, I've read this before. I promise you, I read this shit like 2 weeks ago. It just fucking hit me that she's a fucking Terra Yin baby. Like, interesting.
Well, would it be Yin Terra, like kind of like Rune Terra? Anyway, so, but with their announcement, they said they're going to do a hero every month and then their own IP every 3 months, right? So then they just released Xena, in November. So technically, wouldn't we supposed to be getting a Paragon OG for the next 3 months, and then next 3 months, and then getting it?
If you assume that they are counting Xena, yes. In terms of full release, they announced their hero schedule for their early access release, right? So they could be starting with an original even after Xena, and then 1, 2, 3, True. And then another original.
True.
It could go. Way.
If you look at this little list right here, and we're just not counting Xena, right? Adele's the original. Then we got Boris, Greystone, and Grim. Very clear as full-on names that we're used to, and then that random Ractor name. But who knows? Maybe that's the next original hero. They took Richter and combined him with a fucking tractor. I don't know.
I would hope it's not someone. I hope there is not a character called Ractor, because can you imagine being in a game and saying like, "Oh, Richter's coming for you," and Ractor's going right? That's terrible. Don't do that, please, God. Keep the names more separate than that.
We've seen their original naming before.
You're not wrong.
There is.
Watch, we're gonna start seeing those names pop back up. They're gonna be like announcing
Scott.
Yes, Scott. Announcing Kayla.
I mean, honestly, even just adding. Can we talk about those? Let's say these are the 3 Paragon heroes being added: Boris, Greystone, Grim.
Huge additions, all 3 of them.
You think so?
Granted, yes.
Literally.
Boris
I see what you mean.
Boris, I think, is a brilliant move Boris is the character that was never released in Paragon, but was completed, basically completed. We saw it in Fault. Boris.
We saw it in Overthrow. Overthrow had the first Boris back in the day before it became Overprime.
Before they got acquired by Netmarble,
they had that same Boris. Yep.
So having the character that was never released, when you're comparing Paragon the Overprime to Predecessor, that's a huge win. All the other characters aside, having the one that was never released is a big deal, right? Because it shows your ability to finish the
work that the previous
completion work. Yeah. I won't say it counts as an original hero, but I think it counts a little bit more than a Paragon hero.
It's like half. It's like half IP, half your own IP
exactly.
or whatever.
And I think that's a huge addition. Greystone would be a great off-lane shakeup because that's somebody who has a lot of survivability, a lot of ability to make plays happen in that off lane that could shake up the ADC meta that we've been seeing. Grim, a fantastic addition of an ADC if we get him, because he's very different play style from the 3 that we already have, or the 5 we already have right now. Drongo, which we know is work in progress, I think also fits that bill a little bit. Hoping that is Richter, the first pull support that's in the game. We know a while ago they talked to Pappy about how the pull should feel for Richter. So
did they?
That's a huge thing that Richter theoretically is in development after talking to Pappy about it. Right? That's one
Who talked to Pappy?
I believe Paragon the Overprime did.
Really? Interesting.
But
that's awesome.
Back a long time ago, a year ago, something like that.
Right.
I'd say he would be the one to talk to. But interesting. PG Pappy. That's what's up. Hey,
Mangus can confirm for me, but I'm 99% sure that that's what happened.
It'll go through walls for sure, he says.
But I think all of those additions would be fantastic. I think Wukong, another great one. Crunch, also a great one.
Do not ever say Wukong will be a great addition, all right?
Wukong
will the last time you be on the show.
Both of these games. Wukong would be a great addition to both these games because we will see the chaos ensue afterwards and see how these dev teams are able to deal with it.
I don't want to see chaos ensue. I want these games to succeed as far as they can. I don't want them to be shut down the next month. All right.
No, I don't know. The real bet is going to be if Wukong gets added, how long till he gets removed? Unless they do him well, right? Because here's the thing. I really do believe if they do add Wukong, especially in Paragon the Overprime. Paragon the Overprime is very flashy, very impactful, right? Wukong is gonna have a spot to shine. His running in the air and shit is gonna look majestic as fuck as he goes through the air or whatever. But I could totally also see him being that in Paragon the Overprime, travel abilities are far. You get me? Like everything that pushes you and shit, like a knockback ability, you get knocked the fuck back, right? So can you imagine a Wukong being able to do all that the Overprime way? He might be more broken. So they're definitely going to have to adjust him. Instead of a stance switcher, maybe just give him one solid stance that compromises, you know?
I want a good stance switcher in one of these games. That's why I loved Grim and Fault so much, is the ability to stance switch was such a cool idea. And I want a good stance switcher in one of these games so badly.
So for these games to take that idea, like the Fault shut down, obviously it sucks. We hate that, you know, for what it is, right? But like for these games, like that was a great idea. So there's no reason that both these games aren't able to grab that. Like, all right, we're going to utilize that and maybe modify their own little addition to it. But like he is a great hero for that ability.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. So
we'll also give him a bigger butt.
I can't.
That is what they do. He's right.
It's a woo donka donk. But I mean, if you have Wukong though, who needs teleports? You literally just jump up in there and run across the map. You're good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in dual lane. Oh, we're getting Overprime. We're getting the Prime. Let's go. I'll run across there.
Yep. No
problem. Hey, man.
Look down on mid as you run across. Yep, mid looks good. I'll keep going.
I gotta say, as somebody that, and this is a weird flex on Smite, I love in Smite how there are several champions that their ultimate will take them far into the air, give you a way better landscape, and you can traverse in the air It's not like a Muriel where you're just in the air for a split second. Like Apollo, for example, he would ride his chariot.
Yes.
You're now running around in the air trying to target and find somebody to land on. And then when you click, bam, it goes down and charges down and you do your attack. Like there's a lot of champs in Smite that do that. And who knows, maybe they use Wukong since he can already walk in the air. Maybe that's going to be one of his ultimate, where he can actually do something mid-air. And I want them to use that verticality and that camera positioning on people, not just howitzer. I think that'll be dope as fuck if they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything specific that you guys want to hit up before we end here, considering we've already been here for a little bit?
I do want to give them a shout out for the. I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the beginning, but we didn't really specifically say it. But like they had their little Winterfest. Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll down to it. Here we go. They have a winter holiday surprise gift. They gifted everybody 2,500 with Jeremy's is what Mangus calls them.
Yeah.
Yep. So all you do is you log in the game during a certain time frame, which is December 23rd to December 25th. So you log in within that time and you go to your mailbox. There it was. You got 2,500 Jeremy Renners, right away. So that was good.
Xena aside, that's a character. They gave you a character's worth of money plus some.
Right.
And I think that's hugely beneficial.
So, and they made the change that they gave everybody a ton of characters already regardless, right?
11
Correct me if I'm
characters,
wrong.
Yeah, they gave you 11 characters. Yep.
So now effectively 12? Would that be fair to say?
So they gave you 11.
If you participated?
They give you 11, 5 for logging in for 5 days. So that's 16. And then they've given enough money at this point, I think, for another 2.
Yeah.
So that's 18 that they've given away.
Right.
Yeah, that changes everything. Anybody that was complaining about character restrictions and stuff like that, even including myself towards the beginning, like if they're actually giving that many away, but does that mean that now ranked is getting more populated? It's not as dead as it was like a week ago?
For better or for worse. So they changed
rank is overpopulated. You don't know this, we do, but they changed rank to the one. You still have the amount of heroes you need unlocked, right? But you already have that by everything they gave you already, right? So the amount of heroes that you need for ranked is you already have that completed. And instead of being level 10 to get to be in ranked, it's level 5.
Yep.
So at level 5 and 12 heroes, you can play ranked.
And that I disagree with changing it to level 5. I think ranked, you need people that have played the game enough times that they have an understanding of what's supposed to be happening and when. And at
like
level
they're
5, you
for the game sense to develop
concept unless you played all of the prior tests. And at this point, people that have are already past level 5, and people that haven't are not knowing what they need to do going into it. I mean, Mangoose had a game where the guy didn't know he had to buy the smite item when he went in the jungle. I've had games where people don't know what lanes they're supposed to be going to. They don't know what heroes are supposed to go to which lanes. They don't know what the mini prime is. They don't know what Fang or the prime spirit is, right?
So do you think it's better for them
be the place where people understand what's going on already?
Do you think it's better for them to be more open like that, or is it better for them to take a League of Legends approach? For example, League of Legends makes a level 30, so it's to the point that, hey, you've been playing this game for a good month and a half. Good luck. You're not gonna get to ranked until April or some shit like that at the pace that you're playing.
Well, I would have to ask.
Approach,
I'd have to ask League of Legends when it first came out, when it was in early access, or if let's say there wasn't early access, let's say the first year of full release, though, was it like that then?
I'll be honest. I started playing League of Legends 2015
to play ranked since ranked was introduced.
Okay.
League of Legends has always been level 30 to play ranked.
Got you. But so ranked wasn't introduced in the beginning, you're saying, or is that what you're like? I don't know. I can't go back that far because I never.
Yeah, I don't know. I know 2015 when I started playing it had ranked.
I played it back then. I couldn't tell you if it had ranked or not. I know it had ranked within a year of its beta phase.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But I don't know past that when it actually was introduced into the game.
My point with that is I just think that with this being a new game, early access, we're just getting people in here. I think level 30 is too drastic. I think level 5 is not enough. I think the issue we were having when this first happened, you had the hero requirement and you didn't have enough heroes, and you had the level requirement. You would see people getting to that level, but they didn't have the heroes, right? Or you would see people who would buy all the heroes, but they didn't have that level. right? And I think the issue is the heroes, and they solved the heroes. But when they solved the heroes, they also brought the rank down.
Yep.
So that was so now also
Like overcompensated.
People automatically, hey, I'm already level 5 because it only takes you 4 games or whatever to get to level 5. Bam, you play your 4 games and you already got all your heroes because they gave them to you all. There's no like build up requirement for you to get to it. You automatically you pretty much just get handed ranked.
If I said this on FTM too, if by the time I earn one of the requirements, I've met the other as well, or I'm close, I think that's fine. Right? If I hit level 10 and I had 11 heroes and just needed to play a couple more games to get to the 12th hero, no problem. Then I can go into ranked. If I have 12 heroes and I'm level 9, about to be level 10, no problem. I'm about to go into ranked. When you change it to now, because like after the 11 hero event, because they're only giving away the 11 heroes during December, I believe. It's an event period that they're only giving away those 11 heroes for free. Once they do that, now the hero problem, while still not being as bad as it was initially, still exists.
Oh, so it's more of a mend for the initial player base. Everybody after the fact is still going to have to grind a little bit more.
Correct. So this event lasts.
Oh, I thought it was for everybody.
Okay. While you're looking that up,
period,
it says
December 14th to January 18th.
Okay, so January. Okay.
So January 18th is the cutoff for those free 11 heroes. So now after that, after the level compensation change, now you're going to have people hitting the level 4 ranked earlier and can't play ranked for longer in terms of the two achievements happening.
Right.
Between when they get that 12th hero. And I think that's bad.
I agree. Mangu says, I don't think it matters a whole lot what the level requirement is. You'll still get clueless people in your game. I agree with you. You're still going to get clueless people in your game, but I think the amount that it happens, how frequent it happens, is going to be dropped drastically if you changed it.
Yeah, it's mitigation, right? You're trying to mitigate how many of those people show up. And if you double the level requirement, you will mitigate a chunk of those people.
Yep.
Oh, but I think they probably just did that in order to save face, like in order to help their rank problem. Because like you both said, I know plenty of people. I think Menace was one of the ones that bought like he had all the heroes, but he just didn't have the level, so he was stuck grinding. And then when he got to ranked, he was like, I can't find a match. And then maybe the next day he was like, I think I found one all day. And then a couple days later, he's like, takes me a couple hours to find a ranked match now. So I'm assuming it's something that'll fix itself.
It's gotten better, right? It takes.
But has it only gotten better because they did that change? Probably.
I wasn't able to play ranked before the change, so I don't have a great comparison for you. But I would say it had to have been better because of the change. Ranked has a longer queue than Quick Battle as of the last couple days that I've played.
Okay.
But it's
so that's changed from
2 to 3 minutes compared to 1 minute. So it is definitely longer, but it is still within the reasonable-ish.
Waiting a couple minutes.
3 minutes for a game, right? So that's
we all played Fault. We're not worried about waiting for a game, all right?
But to say, you know how many times even on League of Legends I've been like,
yeah,
well, that's what I get for not paying attention, and I get draft banned. So now I got to sit here and wait for 15 minutes. Shit.
But so it's definitely gotten better with the change, and ranked queues are easier to find. But it is what it is. It's again, I think after the 18th of January, you're going to start hearing the complaints again about how people don't have access to ranked because they don't have enough heroes and they're at the level requirement.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, but at the same time, it's clever of them because they get to stick to their original grind strategy. But at the same time, it's almost like they're kickstarting ranked by doing this, right? They're putting a little bit of lighter fluid in that fire. And then when people are like, hey, how come I got to grind? You had to be there, kid. Yeah. How about you grind and get in and play with the rest of us after the fact?
The people still playing the game currently are going to be the vocal majority. So when those people are complaining, right? When you have 10,000 people all struggling to grind for the characters, right? it's a lot of people coming back and telling you, hey, you need to make the grind easier. You need heroes to be easier to get, all these things. Great. Now I give all 10,000 of those people 11 heroes for free. They can all go play ranked, right? After that event ends, those 10,000 are set. They're not going to complain anymore because they now have all the heroes they need to play ranked. But now the 1s and 2s that are coming in, starting the game fresh after that point, are going to be the ones complaining. And that's a lot easier to put aside. That's a lot easier for you to say, oh yeah, those 2 people, meh, whatever, but we'll get to it when we get to it, right? Because you have quelled the giant uproar from the vast majority of your players.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. It's clever of them because they don't necessarily have to change their strategy. They're just doing it to, let's silence this fucking... Like they got a recall that they got to handle, and then they'll work with a couple squeaky wheels later. But 100%. I mean, I guess we'll just see, right? Because it's all going to be community based. Whether the community is going to want more accessibility to heroes, or whether once ranked has been kind of well flushed out, maybe at that point they want people to take their time. Even players themselves might be like, "Hey, man, I need y'all to get to level 10. I need y'all to get to level 30 or whatever the fuck that number is. Because goddamn, some of these people I'm playing with, bro." So, yeah, I mean, maybe opening the floodgates will open their eyes and be like, that's not what you want.
Yeah.
Like legit.
Yeah. So Megu says the thing that's killing both games is that when new players get in, they're getting dookied on by para-refugees. And so I shouldn't say killing, but hampering a bit. Thoughts on that, guys?
MMR in both games is still scuffed.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Even though, let's give them benefit of the doubt and say that the bell curve is still developing itself, right? And let's say their MMR might be decent, but it might take them 3 months for that bell curve to iron itself out, right? You got these people that have been sparring for the last 2 fucking years, bro. Like... But that also does apply to other MOBAs. Like, I've seen plenty of Smite players that have come over to these Paragon remakes, Paragon The Overprime and Predecessor, etc., and they've been killing that shit, right? Crashy being one of those. I mean, Beard to talk about is like he came from Pokemon Unite. That's not even much of a MOBA. It's got MOBA elements, but he's been killing it at these games, and he's thoroughly enjoying it, right? It's just, I think it's the fact that the majority of Paragon players only played Paragon. They didn't play Smite, they didn't play League of Legends, they didn't play any other MOBA oriented or inspired game. They only played Paragon. So they went from playing Paragon back in 2016 to playing Paragon The Overprime in 2022. And they didn't do shit for those 6 years except play Call of Duty or whatever. Yep. That's the rude awakening, but that is kind of their own fucking fault. Because all the other para-refugees that have been playing other MOBAs, and, even if it wasn't fault, even if it's not Predecessor or Paragon The Overprime, even if they stuck with fucking Smite, and they've been playing Smite for 3 years, there's some pretty good, solid fucking Smite players coming over, and it's like, hey, these motherfuckers can clap. They can't use a range hero, but the melee characters, they'll fuck you up. The aiming's a little bit different. He said jelly.
Yeah, but at least I can use one of the 2 types instead of like Windu, who can't use either one. So,
bro, what do you mean? He gets carried by Mangoose. Change my mind. Anyway.
I like how all 3 of us knew that wasn't serious. There's no way carrying anything.
Bro, what do you mean? He's a real carry, bro.
Says true. So true.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Everybody knows there's one anchor and he wears pink. But anyway,
Mangoose, isn't that right?
Oh, but I don't know, man. I also feel kind of conflicted because, again, I haven't played the game in like a week and a half due to the fact that I've been, well, almost 2 weeks actually, due to the fact of the little hiatus that I've been taking from video games. And it's interesting to hear your opinions on some of these skins. It's interesting to hear all these events that have been going on and everything. Have you guys seen any, because again, you guys being content creators, have you guys gotten good feedback from the community, from your independent communities as far as these changes? Have there been a little bit of backlash?
I still see it, like it's crazy to me. Like you have one of three people in the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one is either a Pred only guy. The other is either a Paragon only guy, or you have people like me that like, I enjoy both games. I'm going to play both games. And I think I'm definitely a part of a real small minority.
Yeah, it's a minority to play both for sure.
Like,
People feel. I feel like people feel like they
minority.
have to choose.
Yeah, it literally feels like you have to be that. It's like, I don't want to get straight political here at all, right? But you have like your Democrats, your Republicans, then you have your liberals, right? Or not liberals, maybe that's the right one. Either way, I don't follow politics at all very closely, but like you have that one, you have that like that third party that just like, like, hey, we're gonna go vote. Well, you never vote for the third party because you know that there's like it's just a waste of a vote. Like it's not gonna win, right? That's kind of where I feel like I'm at right now in that minority. It's like I want all three. I want both games to succeed. Yeah, well, who are you? You're nobody. Like that's
Bearded throwing away his vote confirmed. No, I
could have voted for Mangus.
Like I'm the same way. I've been playing both games. I played a ton of Pred earlier this week, and I've been playing Paragon the Overprime over this weekend. And there is room for both of these games to exist. And the decision to make everything I don't want to say cult-based, but cult-based of you have to follow your game into battle. And if your game dies, then you die with it kind of idea has been pushed by the community for many years, but it is detrimental to both games because of it.
Mm-hmm. So Sane here says, I will choose, but I will play them both for a while to determine what I like or don't like. But that won't be for a while. That's just because he's still got the PC isn't up to par for the games where he's got to play right now.
I mean, but that's a well-educated choice, right? Yeah. Like he's going to make his assessment. He's going to gather data and he will choose what he likes, which is perfectly fine. But it's actually very interesting that you see people choosing based off of what they saw in a YouTube video. They haven't even tried some of these people. I've seen people still on PlayStation choosing. They haven't tried any game. And it's just like, bro.
People just drew this line just from their from their stress tests that they've had. Both these games had a stress test, and they like you could even have people. You have Paragon the Overprime fanboys that have drawn a line and said, nope, this is my only game from their CBT1, which is drastically different from what we actually play right now. Drastically different. It is not the same game.
Oh yeah, not at all. This
is the game they draw the line on because this is where they're going to be, and that's 100%. Fine if that's what you want. I'm not you are not wrong by picking game that you prefer to play, right? I'm not the person that's going to sit there and be like, nope, yeah, you're right. This is the only game. I enjoy both. I'm really thoroughly enjoying. Now, if this was the Paragon the Overprime from CBT1. When do we be doing the show with somebody else? Probably because I did not like that, and I was not a fan of that playstyle. That was not my MOBA that I wanted.
Yep.
Right. I even had it. Like I had somebody that actually joined up on the stream, and they're like, "Yo, I've been waiting for Paragon the Overprime, boy." Like when it released on the week, he's like, "Bro, this is my game. I told you this shit was gonna work. I told you this shit was gonna make it." And then they come in and the first match are like, "Oh damn, they slowed this shit down quite a bit, didn't they?" I'm like, bro, when's the last fucking time you looked at this shit? They slowed this shit down a while ago, bro. It's like, oh no, I haven't looked at this game since January. I was like, bruh, you missed a bit. Like, yo, it's different. And he's like, oh, I still like it though. I still like it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, shit, have fun for sure. But I will say, so far, I was very worried week one for Paragon the Overprime, specifically week one, with some of the choices they made. Seeing them do so many community events, seeing them do so many community contests, like little clip submissions and stuff like that. I'm a sucker for shit like that because that promotes content creation, and I love that shit out of a company. I think that part that they're doing is great. I haven't tried the skins. I really want to, but according to you guys, 10 out of 10, like revolutionary sort of shit.
100%.
Yes.
So I'm still doing my little hiatus, but I want to at least go buy the skin so I don't miss it.
So the little things, the thing that's concerning me, even though it's a hard metric to gather, especially over the last couple of days with the holidays, right? The thing that's concerning me about Paragon the Overprime is in the last week, they've dropped half their players. And
Ooh, really?
nothing's changed in the last week. And again, holiday
Could be
being in
holiday.
there, that's a thing that could be making the difference 100%. And to be fair, Predecessor had not a half drop, but a similar drop due to the holidays. So I will give them, I will give the holiday has impact, but half of your players is a large number to lose over a week.
Yeah,
I wonder if,
especially when not
if you'd be able to
everybody celebrates
find
the same holiday. So that would,
Yeah.
that's
that's what I was gonna say. I wonder if you could anywhere find like region-based data. Like, are they still booming over in Asia, but then NA and EU has gone down because NAU is kind of big on Christmas, you know?
I mean, so it's looking at the Steam charts for it. And granted, there's also Epic Games, right? Which is an impossible
we have no
to
clue,
track
right?
for both of the games. But looking at Steam charts for it, the lows have been relatively the same, and the lows are typically when North America is awake and when the Eastern market is asleep. Those are typically the lows.
Mhm.
The highs are typically when the Eastern market is awake and North America is asleep. The highs have dropped more than the lows, so it's not proportional. So that's to me
Interesting.
the concerning thing is if the Eastern market is dropping the game, that's the market where they're supposedly going to thrive and be the best they can be. That's a concerning metric to see. Again, could entirely be holiday based for the last week. I don't know what their
shout out to you, Jelly, because a lot of those people who would look at the Steam charts, they'll sit there and just come out and just spit out something. Hey, they dropped half the price, half the people, right? But you did enough to even look at there and see, like, hey, the highs are actually where the most of the drop off is, not the lows or whatever, right? Because the lows would be the NA side of it, right? And that's like, okay, fine. You just understand the Eastern side is just
NA still might be stronger,
you know. But yeah, so that's, to be able to point that out, to grab that information, is a lot of people aren't going to look that far into it. There's a look, they'll see the number, like, oh, it's half the difference. And then, I can see a pet fanboy, like, oh, they dropped half their player base.
Yep.
Predecessor's better, and that's like, all right, well, that's not, look farther into it. Let's see what's going on, And
that could be a culture thing too. I don't know what the culture is on the Eastern market around Christmas.
Nope.
Right.
Mhm,
So the
fair.
culture could be drop everything. You don't game, you don't nothing, you don't any of that. For the vast majority of their players.
It could be almost like a Lent situation for Catholics, like for 40 days,
100%.
like, or whatever, you just kind of cut something off or whatever, something like that. Similar.
And I would have no knowledge of that. So it could tomorrow immediately jump back up to the number they were at before, and it wouldn't surprise me. Right. So that has to be taken into consideration.
Right.
But like Predecessor, for instance, it wasn't over the last week, but Predecessor dropped almost like 30-40% over the last couple of days due to the holiday. I would say that is certainly due to the holiday because of when the days fall.
Right.
But that could easily jump back up. Even as of today, it basically did jump back up. So that there's so many metrics to look at all of this. The number itself is not enough, but it's a cause for concern if it sticks. If in 2 weeks from now, it's still that same way, or even 1 week from now, it's still that same way. That to me says something happened that turned off a lot of players with no patch.
Right.
That's the craziest part to me is no patch happened and players disappeared, which means something bigger is going on.
Right. So I got to ask you this, Jelly, because it pertains to the same like player base losing or whatever, or maybe not even growing or whatever. Something that JPI said back on the Predcast a few weeks ago was pointing out that Predecessor, because they did a paid early access compared to doing a free early access of what PTO is doing, that Predecessor, that Paragon The Overprime doesn't have that free, that going free to play like boost. You're not going to get that increase. So what do you think that PTO can do when they do finally get their full release? When they go full release, what is their big bang that they're going to have? They're like, hey, we're full release now, because there's really no drastic change from what they are now to what then. Like, what is going to be that drastic? What do you think is going to be that drastic?
It can be any number of things. This is something you see outside of video games as well. Restaurants all the time do soft opens and then grand openings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that the restaurant is exactly the same. The prices are exactly the same, but the restaurant has a grand opening afterwards, which then typically leads to an increase in business because they are having a more big global is the wrong word for a restaurant, but a more larger launch.
But even with those soft openings, it's like by invite only, though, which would be almost like a pay. It would be similar to an invite.
A lot of soft openings are literally you just go in.
Yep.
It's just open to the public. It's just not the official release. So they at any time can shut it down. They can change things. That's basically. It's like in the business world, a soft opening. Yeah, it's literally saying this is our beta. This is our early access, subject to change, 100%. But we're pretty okay. We're testing it. That's really what soft openings are.
And I've played many early access games over the course of the last couple of years, and a lot of the time, even if I played a game and dropped it, and then I get an announcement on Steam of this game went 1.0 today, I go like, oh, okay, I had a decent time with that game, or maybe I didn't like that game. Let's see what's up with it and maybe download it and play it again. And I think just the idea of saying we are full release is a big announcement in and of itself, right? Okay. Free to play notwithstanding, that is a large thing to be saying. That says we are confident enough to go out into the global market. We're confident enough to go compete with the other big dogs in the space. But we're confident enough to get further than Paragon ever got. Right? Like that's a big statement, regardless of if you were already free to play or not free to play. There's definitely more incentive when you're going from a paid access to a free to play access, because people that didn't have the monetary ability to buy in before now can play the game, but they can still be just as large for themselves, depending, as long as it's handled well and is felt like it's leading up to something bigger rather than just another patch that happens to be 1.0.
I guess I'm just worried of it being like an Overwatch 2 situation. You know, like people got excited because they thought they were getting a brand new game, and now then a lot of the things you hear now is like it literally is just the same game. You know, the only difference is it went free to play, which obviously is like different in the situation we're talking here. But like you know, Overwatch 1 being out for so long, and then all right, hey, we're getting Overwatch 2. All right, we're getting a whole new game. Then you go play it, and it's like. There were subtle differences, yes, but there's not enough to like make me think that this is a completely different game, you know. And I'm just worried that we're not going to build. Like, again, I've always said I want both these games to succeed, so I want them to have that explosive. Hey, we are now full release. Let's go. Oh, you know, better than Paragon. Paragon never got this far. Let's go. What are we going to do? Let's blow up. Yeah. That's what I want to happen, and I'm afraid that. Them not being able to have that like big boost of like non-paid players to come like, hey, again, Predecessor, when they take that they make it free to play, there's going to be an influx in players. I want that same influx of players when we go full release here.
If I had to quantify it based on current iteration of Paragon the Overprime, I would say you add game modes. So co-op versus AI, solo versus AI, 3v3s, ARAM, right? You add one of those larger things that people love that changes the game in a way. If I had to throw a Smite reference for it, right? You've got Conquest and Arena, right? But if you take away Arena and you just have Conquest, full release is where you add Arena to the game. A lot of people love Arena, right? And it's a completely different version of Smite, even though it's still the same game, right? That's how you full release in the right way when you're already free to play. Okay. And you still have something that pulls a lot of people in that could be
like it still adds, transforms.
Yeah, exactly. And an ARAM map would be exactly that. And we know that they've had an ARAM map in the past before they got purchased by Netmarble, acquired by Netmarble. Right. So that could easily be the thing that they use for a full release equivalent.
Okay. Yeah, I want something to happen. I want something big. I want some spiciness. Let's go.
I do want to point out there's a game that I think everyone needs to take into consideration, or in terms of how numbers can mean nothing going from here till full release. And that's Hunt Showdown, a game I know Windu has played.
Bro, I reference it all the time, bro.
Access. Yeah, Hunt Showdown early access sat at 2,000 to 3,000 players for a year and a half. And people always complained, and it was what it was. Coming in and out.
There were times where literally just a couple hundred players, it was like, yo, I've waited, and because they set up a queue system because of the small player base. Like, you had to wait 10 minutes. If by 10 minutes your lobby wasn't full, your lobby would start with however many players you had. Sometimes you would literally be like, well, guess we're in a dead lobby. We're the only ones in here. All right. Yeah. Bet, whatever.
And that game felt like it did that for years. It had mixed reviews on Steam at one point, the whole 9 yards. That game went full release at 1.0, did nothing with the price. It was still a pay-to-play game. Their full release drew so many people in that it now averages 30,000 concurrent a day.
Nice.
And then their numbers multiplied once they went to console. Also,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Their console was massive, and not only so they were mixed reviews before. Now they've got an 82% positive review rate comparatively. So they're in the mostly positive category on Steam, so that's a huge turnaround, and that is to me the top end of early access to full release and the redemption arc that you can have. That is probably the most. No Man's Sky would be another one, but it's slightly different because it's not multiplayer. But there is potential for these games to go from low player base to high player base in a full release scenario, even with paid access not being the factor. Right? It comes down to quality of game, quality of match, quality of gameplay, and I think that's super important.
yeah, he was just saying in the chat that he carried you through Hunt Showdown. I believe it.
Oh, this guy, Windu, like I haven't carried him in Hunt Showdown.
I believe it.
All right. So Zane says
We haven't played Hunt together, have we?
Yeah, several times.
You and me?
times.
Yes.
So
I was there.
Played it.
Yeah, trying to murder me.
Well,
yeah.
maybe you weren't there, but you were there. So Zane says I can care less.
Same brown guy?
If the new versions of OG Paragon are similar. To me, I love OG Paragon, but obviously with new aspects of the game with improvements will further succeed. However, it depends on the developers and their roadmap. I think they need to target their audience and give the people what they want. And that begins with transparency with these two studios.
I completely agree.
Yep. 100%. And I think this is the hard part for us as the West side, for us to understand the transparency coming from PTO because of that translation, like trying to understand what's going on. Because like, again, I brought this up last week with Mangoose. I go through their announcement tabs and I read some of their announcements, and I just like, some of it's like, I really run a TDLR like situation. I'm reading some of this. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell I literally get to a point. I'm like, all right, I'm lost. What am I reading anymore? You know, I kind of look for the most important 100%. Points. Like, okay, the event period. All right, I know what time that is. And what am I getting out of it? That's it. Other than that, I don't know what else is going on with this event that's going on.
Yeah, I completely agree. Their announcements are way too long 90% of the time.
I will say those the dev chat where it was just like basically like an announcement sitting behind the podium and people asking questions in the crowd and everything with like subtitles under it. I was like, I thoroughly enjoyed those. Like it was actually
the records.
Yeah, like it was, you know, of course, language barrier. They had subtitles and whatnot, but even stuff like that, I 100% prefer rather than their posting. Again, yes. Big shout out to this fan account that's making a career out of their work in progress tab, because they've done a bomb job of hyping up the community and all that shit. Whoever the fuck that is. Did I tell you that I thought it was Mangoose at one point?
Yeah, you did.
Bro,
I heard that when you were talking about it last week.
Bro, I swear I thought it was Mangoose. That you could have paid me to say it wasn't Mangoose. I was like, but it is though, you know. And then he's like, it's not me. I was like, well, shit, I don't know who the fuck that is, but they're doing a great job.
Well, I know that would never have been Mangoose. There's too much good stuff on there for it to have ever been Mangoose.
Like, I would fuck with Twitter, says Mangoose. That's why I thought it was you. That too. Because you don't have a Twitter. And I was like, this would be the one time he makes a Twitter, just to show how good he is at promoting or whatever the fuck. But anyway, we're getting up there as far as time. Anything else you guys would like to add before we conclude?
Nothing directly. New hero by January 8th.
New hero by January 8th.
I don't care what Mangoose says.
Hey.
He's wrong.
All right.
Knowing them, I'm going to say that. And tonight they're going to be like, and the new hero is.
Bro, that shit happens all the time, bro. It's like the moment we say something about it, the next day, like, whoop, guess we got to wait a whole fucking week to now talk about this.
It comes out afterwards. And then everyone's like, but they announced this already. No, yeah, I know. Thank you.
But if they announced it, then yeah, right. Yeah, we'll get those in the comments for sure. If they announced it though, then that just proves that Mangoose was wrong though, right?
Oh yeah. So I really need them to announce it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bearded. Much appreciated. Yeah.
I got you.
Mangoose has to be wrong here. So
Small victories. Small victories.
Start thinking he's right about everything, and we just can't have that.
We can't have that.
Poor guy already has the name Kid Chicken. What are we gonna do about him, bro?
Did you see the comment where he said he's not an involved mangoose? It's a kid.
An evolved mangoose. Yeah, get me out. I can't.
The only problem is the baby version of a goose is not a chicken though. That's
it is in West Virginia.
There's a lot of things that are the way it is in West Virginia.
True. All right, so in the same order that we introduce ourselves, say words of wisdom to the community or the developers.
Real quick, Sane says, I think you all should get the devs on here and have them talk about the goals and direction that they want to go, if feasible. That's the hard part, is if it's feasible. One, they're all the way over in Korea.
Yeah, so time zone differences, big.
Over here, time zone differences, but then also language barrier differences is going to be hard as well. We will try to get some of the people on here. I know Serjog gets on FTM quite a few times. Maybe we can get Serjog on here. He's a mod in the Discord and knows a little bit more.
Yeah,
we can get
Sarah's
some people
cool.
like that in here. That'll be great.
I could probably ask Rocket. Rocket's mad cool. He loves drinking and loves pizza, so. I'll be like, hey man, I'll buy you a pizza and buy you some beer, bro. Let's go.
If the devs will have me, I will fly to Korea to talk to these guys in person. Okay.
I would watch that.
I would. I'm not even kidding. Hit me up, Discord. Jellyknees 6463, I think is what it is. Sorry, 8482. Jellyknees hashtag 8482.
Not even close.
Let me know.
Let him know. I'll be his cameraman. I'll go with him.
I will go. Yeah.
Might sleep, yeah. I'm a hop, skip, and jump away from South Korea. Right? Yeah, see, there you go. We'll have Sane do the interview for us. All right.
All right. Final words.
Yes.
Windu is bad. Mangoose is wrong. I'm the best player in this entire game, and I stream on Twitch and YouTube, so you should come and watch me.
So you can see that Windu is bad, Mangoose is wrong, and that you're the best player.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's my outro. Okay.
All right. I think that's
about it.
Okay.
I'm good.
I think I summed it all up. We're good. Yeah. That's the too long don't read version of it.
Yeah. If you don't watch the whole show, that's the snippet that you need to know.
If you fast forward it to the end, I got you. Say less. Get me out.
You let the editor just take this section, put it at the front, and be like, "Okay, TLDR, the whole thing. This is it. Bam."
Bet.
Windows editor, pass it. I know who you are. I would love if you did that without Windows permission.
Hey man,
he is bad and Mangoose is wrong. So
I would be a-okay if he just has our little quirks that we throw back and forth just for the first 30 seconds and be like, try to find this timestamps in the comments below or some shit like that. Aye. Bearded?
All right. For the community, let's I had something. No, I lost it. Let's if you are unsure of what you need to be doing, let's stay in casual. If you know what you need to be doing, go have some fun in the rank. All right.
Big true.
For the devs, keep up the great work. And I'm on Jelly's side. We definitely need a hero by January 8th. So we'll keep our eyes peeled and we can talk more about this on our next episode of the Primecast, held live here on the Bearded Wolverine channel on Mondays. And other than that, don't forget to check me out on YouTube. I'm definitely going to get that back up and going. Sorry, I took a little hiatus for the holiday. So, yep, I'm getting that disapproval look again from my dad. So catch me that stuff on YouTube, Bearded Wolverine, and let's keep those numbers going up too as well.
Spicy. I'm actually going to override what Bearded just said. If you think you know, you probably don't. Welcome to MOBAs. but no, I gotta say I'm pleased with the Paragon devs so far. I'm surprised the community has been so receptive of all the changes moving forward. I've seen some of these communities be incredibly toxic, like, oh my god, they're trying to pull a quick one on us and shit. Like they go apeshit crazy. But I'm looking forward to some of these changes. Specifically, if those heroes that we read off of that one list are the next upcoming heroes. I want to see how they implement them, the kind of skins. Like, I can't wait to see a Greystone skin, how they add some dope as fuck skin for him, for example, right? And yeah, as far as content that I got going on, all I ask is go check out a video that we did on YouTube that we gave away a lightsaber. Could be towards the recent ones that I posted on my YouTube. Just show some love on it. Trying to do that a little bit more as far as community support and everything. But we appreciate you guys watching the Primecast episode 3. Spicy. Watching episode 3. Thank you so much. If you guys did make it this far, leave us a good GG down in the comments below. Again, we do live stream these on Beard Wolverine's channel. We try to do 9 p.m. Eastern as a start time. So tune in right around that time. And then from there, we do upload them on YouTube after the fact on my YouTube channel, Windy the Mace. But we appreciate all of you. We'll see you on next week's episode. And the next one. Peace.
Peace.
I just realized he did the finger bang, didn't he?
Yeah. Bang, bang, bang.
Jesus. You did it on the... Oh my God.
Yeah.
This guy.